It's Saturday, May 7th, and you should be excited. Don't be sad, 'cause 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I understand I'm the worst singer in the country, but when you hit 2 out of 3, it's called a meatloaf. There's a song that I believe the name of it is 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad by Meatloaf, R.I.P. And that's what we did last night. We hit 2 out of 3 of the main bets that we had out there. Boston, they responded the way we hoped they would. All the names that I said were probably going to litter the score sheet. We got a Pasternak goal, a Marchand goal. They ended up winning 4-2. Beautiful across the board in the Bruins game. Then Ryan O'Reilly, that OddsShopper prop man, he came through with the goal despite the fact that the Blues caught a beating. And if you remember earlier in the week when Edmonton was down 1-0, I said you got to take that series line. You're never probably going to see it at that price that we got it at. We had it around -110. What do you know? They throw 2 straight beatings and nothing's looking better than an Edmonton series lead. The one little hiccup we had was with the Lightning falling to the Toronto Maple Leafs. They almost came back from 3-0 down. If it wasn't for Jack Campbell, of all people, the player who is supposed to be a liability for the Maple Leafs, we ended up missing out on that one. However, that loss is actually going to spring greater opportunities down the road for us here. I'll tease that. But before we get to what's going to happen in that Lightning series, I first want to tell you about games with goals in them, because we're going to be attacking those goals today. And all these games are going to have goals. And if a game has a goal, you should probably go to BetMGM, because if you bet $10, you win $200 if either team scores a goal. And if you're new to hockey, when you're in the playoffs, it's impossible for a game to go down without a goal. Even in the regular season, if you win a shootout, it counts as a goal. So essentially what I'm trying to tell you is bet $10 on anything and you're getting $200. All you got to do is click the link down below in the description or go to BetMGM and use the promo code OSNHL, OddsShopper NHL, to snatch your free $200. And let's find some goals for you to bet on. So the first bet I'm going to take for this Saturday, I want the over 2.5 for Nashville at -122, and I believe that's a 60-minute bet. But the over 2.5 for Nashville goals. You're starting to see a similar theme here when it comes to these teams who are in holes or any situation where your back's against the wall. And unfortunately for the Nashville Predators, they lost their only shot to actually win this series. They had the Avalanche at 1-1 in their building. They could have got by on overtime. They ended up losing that game. However, their first game home, the building is going to be as excited as it possibly could be. That should generate some offense in these Nashville Predators. They should come out relatively hot. I imagine they're going to pack their best punch for this game. I think they're going to put some goals on the board. I foresee Josi Forsberg being heavily involved. The heavy hitters, whether it's through the power play or 5-on-5, they'll have their fingerprints in this one, and I think that they will top that 2.5 goals. However, when you're playing the Avalanche, 2.5 goals, topping that, you still may need another 2.5 just to tie them. So I don't know which way that's going to go in terms of who's going to win that one, but I do feel comfortable taking the Nashville Predators in their first home game at over 2.5 goals. Another guy who knows how to score goals is Alex Ovechkin. He's got about 700 of them on his career, and now that he's coming home for his first playoff game of the year, I'm going to be taking him to do so in Washington. This guy has a career of scoring goals in home playoff games. So not only am I going to take Alex Ovechkin to score a goal at +126, give me the over 3.5 shots. I think this guy, he's shooting everything under the sun in this game. Whether it's on the power play or just winging shots to the net. You ever hear of a pass-first guy? That's not Alex Ovechkin. So give me the over on the shots, 3.5. I think you can get it at -145 and then add a goal to his name at +126. And I also do like TJ Oshie. I'm thinking TJ Oshie at +260. It's a great price for someone who works right in the middle of that ice on the power play when they shade to Ovechkin and Backstrom's controlling it from the half boards there. They're always looking to drift Oshie into that dead area to rip a one-timer. And in a game with an over-under of 7, and you start thinking who's going to score for the Washington Capitals, Oshie could be a prime candidate along with Alex Ovechkin. Now, there is one game we're going to hope for less than a whole litany of goals, and that's the New York Rangers game. And, you know, we've seen 2 games. One went to overtime, and then the other was the third-string backup of the Penguins, letting in a few more than he would have liked. However, I always feel comfortable with Igor Shesterkin on my side. Even though this game hasn't hit a under yet, I always like when the team who is like technically favored to win, like the Rangers are even favored to win this game. So if they're favored to win on the road, they are the favorite. So give me a favorite. When that favorite has one of the best goalies in the league and they go on the road, I'm always of the belief they lean on the goaltending more so on the road than they would at home, just because that's the best way to nullify a crowd and the best way to steal a game. It's through goaltending. So whether it's making sure that they're more defensively responsible, I believe this can stay under 6 unless the guy on the other side lets a few slip by him. But conversely, I think they're able to protect the net and protect a bad goalie more so at home than they would be at Madison Square Garden. So give me the under 6 for minus 120 in the New York Rangers Pittsburgh Penguins. And the one game we lost last night was the Tampa Bay Lightning. They were down 0-3, and I put $20 on them to win that game, and I came damn close because they were a few Jack Campbell saves away from tying the game. Do you believe that? Of all the people to be an X factor last night, it was Jack Campbell who kept the lead for Toronto before they scored a couple empty netters. And Weasel, imagine you had the over last night, the over 6.5. It's 3-2 with a minute and a half left, and you're just raking these empty net goals to hit that over. But I guess, live by the empty net, die by the empty net. However, there is some silver lining in this. Yes, we didn't hit that bet, but now we can get Tampa Bay at a juicy plus 220 for this series and a plus 700 to win the East. Remember who you're dealing with here. Toronto will do anything and everything to lose series, especially in 7. They have a propensity to just, we really want to get our fans really worked up just to lose in 7. They had a 3-1 lead against the Canadiens last year and lost in 7. The only thing they can say is at least the series before that, when they lost to the Blue Jackets, it was that shortened series in the bubble, so they lost in 5, which was the bubble equivalent of 7. I don't see Toronto winning. They almost blew that 3-0 lead last night like it was nothing. Tampa, and here's a little preview for tomorrow, they've never lost back-to-back games. I keep saying this, in the last 3 playoff runs, if you want to include this one. So this and the 2 cup runs. So what do you think is going to happen next game? So this is going to be your only chance to get them at these great prices, in my opinion. Unless they lose game 5, and then you could do it again. But I don't want to take that risk. So this might be your only chance to get juicy Tampa plus 2020, plus 2020, plus 220 for the series, and plus 700 to win the East. Those are my bets for Saturday, and I'm going to try to get you some tomorrow, but if not, I'll see you on Monday. But stay tuned and find out. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend.